Tonight we're going in depth on 3 sports growing in popularity in Oklahoma and the country and even the world. Slap fighting, bare-knuckle fighting, and kickboxing could all soon fall under new regulations in Oklahoma. But as we'll explain, this didn't just randomly happen. The state of Oklahoma could soon have more of a say over slap fighting. Tuesday, the Oklahoma House voted with bipartisan support for House Bill 1122. It clarifies how professional slap fights, open fist fighting, and kickboxing will be regulated in Oklahoma.
It's something being pushed by the UFC, and if any of you have ever seen it, it's where 2 people stand in front of each other and actually slap each other. One gets one shot, the other one gets another shot. It's fortunately, it's a wonderful thing that we're about to regulate. It is something, too, that if it's going to be done, it needs to be regulated.
Miami Republican State Representative Steve Bayshore says this bill regulates what are becoming rising spectator sports, and these events are being broadcast more online and on television.
Bedtime story.
We're actually on their schedule to have a slap fighting event and a UFC event in Q4 of this year, so they are coming back.
Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond released a legally binding opinion last November that said the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission can and should be regulating the new sports because of how they are performed and the ability for someone to be injured. Because of this, the mixed martial arts company Ultimate Fighting Championship, or UFC, also asked for clarity in the law while it prepares to hold events in Oklahoma.
This bill improves enforcement against illegal events, which have happened in the past. It's going to regulate bare-knuckle-fighting, which is a huge up-and-coming event that's happening all over the country and worldwide.
Under 1122, the State Athletic Commission is uncoupled from the State Department of Health. Competitors over 40 would need to submit to a basic physical. Medical personnel should be readily available, and certain liability insurance must be carried as well. Also, event promoters must register their events with the state. The bill now heads over to the state Senate, but this didn't just happen randomly. There were actual legal questions about slap fights that have been happening in Oklahoma for quite some time now, some even selling tickets and everything. At the request of the Oklahoma State Athletics Commission, last November, Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond released a legally binding opinion about this. In his review of the slap fights, what was already taking place in Oklahoma and possible avenues to regulate this, Drummond stated, quote, "Slap fighting is a combative sport as defined by Title 3A, Section 602A13 of the Oklahoma statutes, and thus falls under the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission's regulatory authority," which means no one, not only could the state regulate this, but regulations were actually needed. Specifically in the opinion, Drummond states, quote, "Slap fighting is unarmed combat because the contestants use only their hands to strike their opponent. The second element requires a blow, usually struck, which may reasonably expected to inflict injury. An undefended slap to the face qualifies. Though slap fighting differs from existing combat sports as defenders may not defend against the slap, the definition of combative sport contains no requirements about available methods to defend against blows." Other states have or are already in the process of defining how a slap fight takes place. Nevada was one of the first states to actually tackle this issue because there were desires to have these kinds of fights on the Las Vegas Strip and even have it televised. But there were some concerns that it wasn't exactly a mixed martial art. The Nebraska legislature is also dealing with this issue at the same time we are. Now in states like California, Texas, and Florida, they've already legalized this. Other states are also still trying to figure out what is defined as, quote, a legal slap.